Well, hello, hello. So as you can see, I've been trying something out as a bit of a backstory, I guess. There's been in the earlier videos, I guess, this year, there was a Viroid model. It was made in Viroid Studio, or I guess made might be a little bit of a overstatement because I had like just the options in there in the program, and I was just selecting whichever option I wanted at the time, or whichever option was good enough, I suppose. And and then when the disaster happened and my disk, my hard drive, got wiped entirely, and I guess the model wasn't that one, but it's not like one. It's like one. It's not that big of a deal, I guess, because easy to remake, to be like similar, but also it's still there. It's still up in what, Pixiv or something. So it's still up there. But since then, I haven't downloaded it and I haven't used it since that incident, because there's also the issue of just it being laggy. Because I obviously PC is not, even after being able to upgrade it. I guess at this point that was also quite a while ago, but even after that, it was not a very strong machine, especially for current year. So yeah, it was lagging a lot, even with not that many details. And I guess I also didn't use the option of stuff like VC face, where you can like actually track it to a certain extent with just the regular webcam. I tried it for like a little bit, but I had like a weird position, I guess, that, or at least weird position from the perspective of the camera. So my head was always twisting to the side, especially because at that point I had the two monitors both functioning, and then there was the one in front of me and the other one that was like 90 degrees on the left. So that meant that my head was going back and forth a lot between the two screens. So it always ended up twisting my head. So I promptly turned that off, and it was just basically similar to what's happening here. That you see, it is obviously just a PNG this time. But like I said, to the extent that I use the other one, the Viroid model, it's basically the same thing, but without the lag. And yeah, and as you can see, you may or may not see it, right? But I looked a little bit into it, about my options, considering that I can't really draw at the moment, like at all. And I mean, obviously, everyone has to start somewhere, so not knowing something is not really an excuse to just not know it forever or be unable to do it forever. But at the moment, I can, I guess, like doodle something. And my idea was that I've also seen somewhere that there are these, character creation sort of, sites where you can do stuff like this, which is very, very good option if you just wanna get PNGs out of it. So I went to one of those, and yeah, I did like very, very, like, this is the test one, because, and now comes the issue. So my idea is and was to just slowly iterate on it over and over. Start from the basic one and then see where I get from here. So that was like a very, very test one to just test the function. You just have the four states, open eyes, open mouth, open eyes, closed mouth. closed eyes, open mouth, and closed eyes, closed mouth. So like the four states basically, and that's it. And then obviously from there you can like branch out, and then you can have like different expressions where you would like swap between those expressions with like either with hotkeys, or some sort of buttons that you set up on your side. Or there's also like the more serious ones, I think, where you can actually supposedly, if I understand it correctly, you can connect it to like certain things that happen. Which I don't know if I understand it correctly, but that could possibly mean something like I take damage in the game, and then it swaps to a certain PNG, for example, that kind of stuff. I think those are possible somehow with like the more serious one. But at the moment, I obviously have the Vidu Tube Mini, which is just grab it, you put in the PNGs, and then that's pretty much it. Obviously, there's like some options there. Like I don't really know entirely what can and can't be done. So as far as I've gotten is just the four PNGs, and I checked on the character site if it's okay to use for cases like these, PNG tubing and whatnot, and I think it is, like, if I understand it correctly. But again, there's like there is English there, but at the core it might just be translated from Japanese. So if the translation, it can be kind of interesting, very like. Otherwise, in a lot of cases, your Google Translate helps you out with like general meanings and whatnot. But I feel like if it's terms and conditions, or permissions, what is and what isn't allowed, then Google Translate might not cut it. So I'm not 100% correct, sure if I understood it correctly, but I think it is allowed to use it for cases such as these. And yeah, this was the base, like like I said, just for the functions. And then I guess you could say, working on the next one, where I'm like slowly shifting towards it. But I just made one which is like half. I guess I wouldn't say half done, because nothing is ever done, especially if the idea is to slowly change it over time. But I just did one of the states, kind of, and then I wanted to work on it today. But then now when I try to go to the site is down. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer. That's kind of a bummer. Like everything was working just fine, and now I get the 504 uh gateway timeout code, which is unfortunate. And obviously I checked the usual, is it down right now kind of thing, and then it says, yeah, it is down, but it's been down for more than a week. So I don't really know what to do with that, because it was up yesterday, or I guess technically today in the morning. So yeah. So now at the moment, all I have is this, the testing one, which is basically I made absolutely no changes to it. Everything is just basically the first option. I guess I threw on some clothes here and there. I guess it even has a leg somewhere if I move the offset a bit. It's like, what if no, going down is not good, because I move the box. So what if I go up? Okay. And see, like, there's the mark at the bottom. That's like the watermark, because like obviously you wanna have some some indication from the perspective of the site. So yeah. like as you could see, I just threw threw in some clothes and that was it. Sadly I couldn't get to the point where I could actually do something with it. But I mean, technically, it's not only that side, and then eventually, I guess you could also just get to the point where even if you can't draw, you can, make like small changes to it. Because it's a lot easier, I guess, to work with PNGs than with like actual models, especially for someone who doesn't really know what they are doing. But yeah, it's not exactly the state I wanted this to be in. And obviously I can see like where it stops. Like when I keep talking and the mouth is just open, it would be ideal if I could, just have some, states in between, you know? Or like when my mouth is open, just have some more frames, have some more pictures, to have like movements between those points. So yeah, this is a very very basic, very bare bones situation, and like I said, it's sadly not personalized at all because I couldn't get to that part because the site is now down, and I don't know when it's gonna be up. I hope it's gonna be up because I looked around a little bit for the other ones and I couldn't really find the one that I liked all that much with the other, character creating, avatar creating stuff. It's like this is the one that I liked. But yeah, it's pretty neat. You can play around and have some basic PNGs to start out with. So yeah, that was the idea. So that was the little bit of an issue that I ran into. That it's down, but I don't know. I haven't entirely given up on it just yet. I hope that it's gonna be like down temporarily, and then it comes back. We're just gonna check tomorrow and hope. So yeah, that's it for now. That's it for now. All right, bye bye.